Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 4:36 p.m. coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Stay the market. We are back into an uptrend, and we'll go through all the action. On the trend gauge, we're back to the four coveted green arrows. Market leaders are roaring. Short term are above the 21 EMA, medium term indexes are above the 50-day moving average, and long term are all above the 200-day moving average. So what happened today? Donald J. Trump win sparks an enormously broad rally. 21 over 21 list up 5.11%. 20 stocks up, one down. Big 8 up 3.81%. RJ up 4.61%. S&P up 2.53%. Equal weighted up 2.38%. Qs up 2.72%. QQEW up 2.38% as well. Dow up 3.54%. Mid caps up 4.14%. Small caps up 5.71%. Global 60/40 up 0.48%. And GROTECTION, because we hedged into the election, we're up about 2.1%, staying pretty much in line with the S&P 500. So let's jump right into the S&P then. There's not too much to say with each index because we just roared into all-time highs. But let's go over them real quick. Starting off with S&P, as you can see on the election, enormous volume day today, just pure accumulation throughout the day and into new all-time highs. If you go on a 5-minute chart, you gapped up, initially pulled back a little bit, tested lows of the day, and it's been pure accumulation, linear uptrend throughout the day. RSP also gapped up into new all-time high. If we look at the 5-minute, this actually faded first and then trended the rest of the day. Qs, finally the Qs are catching up and actually leading now, being up higher than S&P, which is exactly what we want to see. We broke out of this handle above 500 and closed at a new all-time high on volume as well. Look at the Qs 5-minute, straight accumulation throughout the day as well. Equal weighted, same thing, gapped up to new all-time highs. Look at the 5-minute, that's skipping, so we won't look at that. The Dow also huge move into all-time highs on enormous volume. Just great action all around. Mid caps gapped up into all-time highs as well. All of these are catalyzed by the Donald Trump win. About 3,200 RS line is breaking this downtrend line as well. And Russell, the biggest mover on the day, above 2,300 on this Donald Trump win. Deregulation, lower taxes, bodes well for financials and these bank stocks, which composes which takes up a big portion of the Russell 2000 index. And if we go over to KRE, for example, it's up a huge 13.41% today. XLF financials up 6.08% on huge volume. These are clearly institutions rushing into these names. Let's see what biotech is doing. Less of a move, but this is starting to look really good as well on huge volume as well. Largest volume in the base. Another good sign is the VIX completely gaps down back to the 200-day moving average, closes at 16.27. We're really watching this 15 area. If we can get to this 10 to 15 zone, we can really trend and have a new nice smooth uptrend. Dollar, huge move up with Donald Trump winning. Donald Trump was always the favorite candidate for a stronger dollar in terms of his foreign policy, his tariffs, his nationalism. Gold, on the flip side, huge gap down on huge volume, back to the 50-day. Gold miners follow suit as well, but they actually closed stronger than gold, putting in a hammer candle. Silver, similar to gold, gap down below the 50-day and closed below it. And Bitcoin was a huge mover today. As you guys know, I've been talking about Bitcoin for months and months, citing that to be one of the fat pitches of the year, and it finally came on a Donald Trump victory. And he's the pro-crypto president, so the crypto community is definitely glad to have them, and the market is backing that. Just massive breakout, catalyzed by his win into all-time highs. When we look closer into it, Actually, we'll look at the longer term time frame. Beautiful cup with handle, ran up the right side, built an 8 month base, and now we're in all-time highs. Volume projection is huge. So far, we've already traded 48,000 Bitcoin. As you can see, we broke out, built a little flag on the 65-minute time frame, and we're continuing higher. So that 74K level is absorbed, that supply is absorbed, and we are pushing through. The demand is strong. Bonds, we'll go over here as well. Huge move in longer rates because with Trump tariffs, that might cause more inflation. Lowering taxes also may cause more inflation and a faster velocity of money flow around the economy. And so far the bond market is reacting that way with higher yields on the 10 and 30 year, as well as the 2 year. So we'll see what happens with the Fed tomorrow as well in that. So that's all of inter-asset correlation. And now I'll jump right to the tail of the tape. Of course, there's many updates today. We're back in an uptrend. The stows are all back hooked up. VIX is back down, as I talked about, and now we're operating on the bull case again. Of course, we're at all-time highs on every index except the Russell, which is at a new 52-week high. The news, election results, Donald Trump wins by a landslide. The Republicans take the Senate. They're looking like they'll take the House as well, so they'll have all three chambers of government. Today's keys, we're watching S&P versus support, 50-day and 21 and resistance 21 EMA. Qs support 50-day versus resistance 21 EMA. And the election results completely cleared those keys. Day one up, today two up. 2 days above the 8 EMA, 2 days above the 21 EMA. Expectations are, of course, positive. Sectors have strong today, all Trump sectors, but bond yields are strong, like I talked about. Bitcoin and miners, financials, industrials, energy, of course. He wants to recreate the energy drilling boom in the United States, lower gas prices, and be energy independent. We also want to redevelop the infrastructure of the United States, and then his deregulation is positive for financials as well. XLRE with higher yields that affected real estate, staples, and utilities were defensive stocks, and we're definitely not in a defensive posture right now. Gold and silver down, solar down, which is more of a Harris trade, in China, since Trump will put tariffs on China and it's hard on China. Today we sold our hedge at SPXS. I brought our beta up to 1.23. And the bottom line is Donald J. Trump wins Sparks broad rally. So jumping right into it, I want to talk about a few charts of my interest. First one is IBIT, of course. I talked about Bitcoin. IBIT itself, we own this, breaking into all-time highs and just keep pushing throughout the day, just trending up. Bitcoin, let's go to the quarterly chart. Took out last quarter's highs of 70K, breaking out this cup with handle. Monthly chart, many undercut reclaims of the 10-month moving average, surfing it, now breaking out the all-time highs. Weekly, cup with handle, breaking out to all-time highs, and now the daily. Huge volume, just enormous volume move into all-time highs. And actually, I do want to give you something special. Let me pull that up. Go to the commitment of traders. For those that don't know what this is, with every futures trade, you have to report whether you're a large speculator, commercial, small speculator. And if I bring up a Bitcoin chart, a weekly chart with the COT data, as of last week, we had more and more large speculators going short. That's a good sign because people don't believe the move, and we're actually breaking out on large speculators shorting more. So that could add more fuel to the fire in terms of buyers. We'll see where this level gets this weekend when it updates. Sorry about that. Continue on. MSTR is another name we own, another Bitcoin proxy. Nice little break of this flag. Pulled back, retested previous highs of the day, and trended higher for the rest of the day. So we did kind of break this flag. What I want to see is maybe another tight day or so and then break upwards, maybe another higher low and then break upwards with the 10 and 20 catching up. Coin is another Bitcoin themed name. Huge move on huge volume. What I'm looking for is this 272 level. Go on a weekly chart. that is the level I am watching. Triple digits earnings and revenues, um, great fundamentals, institutionally liquid name, the main US regulated crypto exchange. Another Trump trade because Elon is part of Team Trump, and Elon stated that he thinks the Democrats would have destroyed him and his companies. So that is the market narrative. Whether you believe in that or not, doesn't really matter. This is what the market is saying. We have the largest volume since the base. Um, we gapped up on earnings, pulled back, formed a U-turn type setup, undercut reclaim the gap based lows on 11.4. That could have been add. Then you could add through here, and the Trump trade now gaps up above this 271 key pivot level. Now the next key level is this 300 level, which we are watching closely right here. So we'll see what happens. I would love to see some plate action consolidation, and then buying through that would be reasonable. NVIDIA, it's all-time highs. Break that down trend line. Not too much to talk about. 14 days before earnings, so maybe we run into that. ALAB, recent IPO, and earnings into new all-time highs after a pretty brutal 8% gap down, but reclaim the high volume close, previous all-time highs, and it's looking great. Red is actually a name on our 20 over 21 that closed red today, but still looks really healthy. Really nice day yesterday. Tried pushing higher today, but closed in the middle of the range. So we'll just monitoring that. And we own ALAB and Reddit as well. Now going on to 21 over 21, I'll just review some top names. Reddit again was the name that was red, but still acting really well. SMR, huge move. Reclaim HVC up 14%, that nuclear theme. OKLO is another name that's starting to flag. It's less liquid, so we didn't talk about it, but earnings in 8 days as well. MicroStrategies I talked about. Nice little wedge break like that. Bitcoin broke the highs of the base. That was the trigger. XPO transportations gapped up as well into new all-time highs. So that looks great. Palantir continues to follow through on earnings. This name has just been a juggernaut to all-time highs. Blue skies now, a real-world AI play, and there's a lot to be excited about here. VRT, huge part of the data centers, gaps up as well into new all-time highs. Reclaims this key level yesterday and falls through on the Trump win. CLS up 7% as well, accelerating in this move after post-earnings gap. And we broke this little flag here, and it's trending beautifully along the 8 EMA with volume increasing drastically. And so I give you some names. I talked about some important names and moves. The main important thing was catalyst on election. Tomorrow we're looking towards FOMC and Powell and see what they have to say about the economy. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up today's video actually. And my email is right here, ted@revereasset.com. Then you can reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Our phone is 855 Real Wealth, and that is 855-732-5932. You can find us at our website at revereasset.com, and our YouTube channel is Revere Asset. We named our flagship portfolio GROTECTION with the dual mandate to grow assets when we're in uptrend, which we are in now. We have those 4 coveted arrows, and protect assets when we're in a downtrend, which we did start doing before the election. And we hedge into the election because you never know what can happen. If Harris won, we could be gapping down right now. Who knows? And if you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that said, I'll wrap up today's video. It is Wednesday, November 6th. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your week.